All right, here we go. Welcome into the show. We are live right now on Philadelphia Eagles Now by News. We thought there was a possibility that Shaq Leonard was going to make his decision today. Dallas Cowboys. We talked about that earlier today on a new episode of Eagles Now. Now we're live with an update because the Birds have signed the former All-Pro linebacker. I think this is really important for this team. I understand that Shaq Leonard is not the player that he used to be, and he has declined a little bit after a couple of back surgeries, but San Francisco really exposed this football team yesterday. They targeted the middle area of the field. They targeted the Eagles linebackers in coverage, and Philadelphia really struggled. Can Shaq Leonard be better than a Nicholas Morrow and a Christian Ellis? I think so, and that's why I think that this decision for him is a good one because he gets to go somewhere where he's going to be able to play, and it's a good move. Ago that the Eagles and former Colts All-Pro linebacker Shaq Leonard have agreed to terms on a one-year deal. Took a visit to Philly last week, a potential big addition for this stretch run for Philadelphia. As we know, Leonard also visited with the Dallas Cowboys, but Philadelphia, their preferred spot. So I want you to give us your feedback down in the comment section right now. Grade the signing of Shaq Leonard here. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you're thinking down below, and we'll start to give you some shout-outs here. Julian, Mr. Eyeball, Hoy, Visionary, Stephen Lackman saying A. Callie Green, anything is better than Christian Ellis. Gregory Weiler saying B. Faulty Cal. In the building, Lamont Lancaster, A. Ernesto, A. Frost Ice. Did Zack Ertz just sign with us? No, but there is a possibility that that is going to happen as well. Our live coverage of Shaq Leonard going to Philadelphia is sponsored by Prize Picks, by the way. Get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS. This is Daily Fantasy Sports made easy. You pick two or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stat lines, and this is the largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. So get signed up today by using that link at the bottom of your screen. And while the Philadelphia Eagles may have lost yesterday, we were talking about this during the watch party. Producer Chip's picks did hit once again. And for some Monday Night Football action, we had the Cincinnati Bengals against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jake Browning, he ain't good. Let's go less than 218.5 passing yards. And then Travis Etienne, a very good player, more than 67.5 rushing yards. Again, $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. That link is available for you in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. We'll continue to break down this Shaq Leonard signing for the Philadelphia Eagles. We have talked so much about his decline here on the show because we've talked a lot about Shaq Leonard, passing along all of the latest developments, all the possibilities, all of the latest reports, and my opinions on the topic. He is not the all-pro player that he once was, but is he better than Christian Ellis as well as Nicholas Morrow? I would say yes to that question. And I thought that the Philadelphia Eagles got exposed by this Niners team yesterday. Brock Purdy threw for 314 yards yesterday at the link. 213 of those yards came after the catch. San Francisco consistently targeted the Eagles linebackers and targeted the middle area of the field. These numbers are pretty crazy when you think about it. Nicholas Morrow allowed 175 of those passing yards against the Niners. He gave up 6 catches on 8 targets, with 151 of those yards occurring after the catch. About 40 plus of those happened on that Deebo Samuel touchdown. And Christian Ellis, 2 catches given up on 3 targets for 33 yards. So again, I think that Shaq Leonard going to be a little bit of a better option as compared to those players. We're going to break this down fully in further detail coming up here in just a moment. But first, this is why you subscribe to the show. This is an Eagles News Alert, and now we're live here on the show. Let's get to 67,000 subscribers by the time the Birds hit the road to take on the Cowboys Sunday Night Football. If you want year-round coverage of the Eagles, lock us in and subscribe. If you're ready to talk Shaq Leonard, we are also talking about Zack Ertz here on the show as well. I need you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Leonard on his way to Philadelphia. Could Zack Ertz be next? All of that is coming your way. And then we'll start to take some of your questions as well. Use the hashtag Eagles. Better yet, send in a super chat to get your questions featured here on the program with more than 100 people hanging out with us here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. So if you're ready to talk Shaq Leonard as well as Zack Ertz, make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and you like the video right now. All right, our breaking news about to officially get underway. Marshawn Lynch saying F grade. Now we have two players named Darius who don't want to be called Darius. It's actually pretty funny. Darius Slay likes to be called Slay, and Darius Leonard changed his name to Shaq Leonard. All right, continue to hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video here. I see Paul Allen hanging out, Gregory Weiler, Marshawn Lynch, Effin Lalo. Give some love to those who can't donate and maybe answer their questions. We literally do that every time that we're live, and that's why I said use the hashtag Eagles or send in a super chat to get here on the show. So, Eagles, then we'll get you here on the show. Simple as that. All right, we are about to talk about from Jeremy Fowler linking the Birds and talking about their interest with Zack Ertz. All that coming your way right now on Eagles Now. So without further ado, let's do it. All right, some breaking news on this Monday to get to here on Philadelphia Eagles Now, as the Birds have bulked up that linebacking core, which was on Sunday. Shaq Leonard has decided to sign with the Philadelphia Eagles and not with the Dallas Cowboys. Also coming up on today's show, Jeremy Fowler talking about the Eagles' interest in Zack Ertz. Are the Eagles not done? Could they add another all-pro caliber player? We'll get to that here in just a moment. First, here is a report from Ian Rappaport of NFL Network saying that the Eagles and former Colts All-Pro linebacker Shaq Leonard have agreed to terms on a one-year deal. Took a visit to Philadelphia last week, a potential big addition for this stretch run. Leonard, as we know, also visited with the Dallas Cowboys, but Philly was always the preferred spot. Now, with Shaq Leonard, we have talked so much about his decline, and Zack Ertz has declined as well. But when you add all-pro players or players with an all-pro history, as I alluded to a little bit earlier, they can serve as really important depth pieces, and they can run to try to really diversify your offensive and defensive approaches as much as possible, and to bulk up your roster with as much talent as you can. And with Shaq Leonard, we talked so much about his decline. He is not the all-pro player that he once was. But is he better than Christian Ellis and Nicholas Morrow? I think the answer to that question is a resounding yes, especially after what we saw during Sunday's action against the San Francisco 49ers, because I thought the Niners exposed the Eagles, especially with that weakness over the middle area of the field and against the Eagles off-ball linebackers in pass coverage. Brock Purdy threw for 314 yards in that game. 213 of those yards came after the catch. San Francisco exposed, identified that weakness, and they kept going back to the well because the Philadelphia Eagles showed no signs of being able to stop it. And when you look at these numbers, according to Pro Football Focus, this is why the Eagles got desperate. This is why the Eagles probably hit up Shaq Leonard after that game against the Niners and said, we on that one-year contract, because Nicholas Morrow against the Niners, 8 targets, 150. Was also playing a lot because Zach Cunningham was out, only 2 catches on 3 targets for 33 yards. When you think about this move for the Eagles, there's really no risk here at all. If Shaq Leonard sucks, if he is indeed washed, that's fine, right? You're not paying him that much money, and it's a one-year deal for the remainder of the 2023 season. But if he helps you upgrade at a position of weakness and he turns it into more of a strength, and that linebacking unit just gets a little bit better incrementally, then that is a win for this Eagles defense. Philadelphia is playing Dallas this upcoming week. AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Dak Prescott has been on a heater of late. I understand it's come against a lot of bad or mediocre opponents, but his connection to CD Lamb has been a really good one. They're running a lot of pre-snap motion. Eagles caught off guard by that pre-snap motion. As James Bradbury said after the game against the San Francisco 49ers, Cowboys like to do a lot of the same things, and Dak's ability to target the middle area of the field up the middle is why he threw for so many yards against Philadelphia a little bit earlier this year, but that connection with CD Lamb has occurred a lot at the middle area of the field and the intermediate area of the field where Shaq Leonard hopefully can improve this Eagles defense just a bit. This is why on Philadelphia Eagles now, looking to get to 67,000 subscribers by the time that the Eagles play the Cowboys, so make sure you lock us in. And in December of 2020, he suffered a lower back injury in Week 14. He did return in Week 15. Then in June of 2022, had a bulging disc in his back. He got surgery on that in June, back to practice in August. Then in November of 2022, another setback with another back injury, and that led to yet another surgery for Leonard. So a couple of back operations, I think, has led to the decline in play for the former All-Pro, who, again, like Zack Ertz, is not an All-Pro caliber player right now, but does have All-Pro to their name as far as their honors. Career stats for Shaq Leonard this year. 70 games played, 68 starts, 614 tackles, 32 tackles for loss, 31 pass breakups, 17 forced fumbles, and 12 interceptions. He has played a lot. He has produced a lot in his NFL career. You're hoping that at this point, while he doesn't have the all-pro ability that he once had, he does have some of the all-pro instincts, allowing him to diagnose plays before they happen. In his first 4 years, I thought Leonard was terrific and put up some awesome numbers. In 2018, 163 tackles, 7 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, and 4 forced fumbles. He was a second-round pick out of South Carolina State. In 2019, 13 games played, 121 tackles, 5 sacks, 7 TFLs, and 2 forced fumbles. In 2020, another really good season in which he eclipsed the century mark with tackles and was active in sacking the quarterback, and the TFLs were good, as well as the forced fumbles and the pass breakups. Like, this was a player who was really doing it all. He was a part of blitz packages. He was sacking the quarterback. He was making plays behind the line of scrimmage. He was forcing fumbles. He was breaking up passes, and that's why at the time in 2021, he was made the highest paid off-ball linebacker in the game. But as the injuries have gone up, the play has decreased, and because of that, the numbers have also gone down. 12 games over the last 2 years. He did play 70% of the snaps with Indianapolis this year, but a goose egg for sacks as well as forced fumbles and only 1 TFL to his name. So we want you to grade the signing of Shaq Leonard here. Let's hear from you down in the comment section right now. What do you think of Howie Roseman's latest move? Let's hear from you down in the comment section. Now, to get into daily fantasy sports and play DFS, this is the only app that you should be using. And we can get you a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS. This is the largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. You pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stat lines. And what we like going into Monday Night Football, not a great game. Bengals without Joe Burrow against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We got to look at Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. We're going to go with less than 218.5 passing yards for Jake Browning. The Jaguars defense pretty good. And then more than 67.5 rushing yards for Travis Etienne. So one more time, easy and exciting daily fantasy. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that code CLNS for that $100 deposit match. So we covered the Shaq Leonard latest. Now let's get to the latest around Zack Ertz, another declining player who has Pro Bowl and All-Pro types of accolades right to his name, but he can still help this football team for the reasons that we're about to break down. While the Eagles have wrapped up, Jeremy Fowler said, the Shaq Leonard deal, they've also inquired about an old friend, Zack Ertz, who is still evaluating his options. This Eagles offense, it's been an issue. We talked. They are way too inconsistent. And sometimes the Eagles rely on some of these heroic comebacks and Jalen Hurts making plays out of structure. What if I told you the Eagles could pick up an option who's a really good security blanket, knows where to find the soft spot of the defense, and can make really heady plays to get open, to give Jalen Hurts an easy throw, to move the chains, keep these drives going, to help this Eagles offense be a little bit more consistent? And what if I told you that player could be Zack Ertz? I saw this tweet from Honest NFL, and I thought that the Twitter account that breaks down football makes some really good points here. I would be dumbfounded if Ertz doesn't end up back with the Eagles. It just makes way too much sense. The Eagles need an F for 12 personnel who understands how to get open and or find soft spots in the under coverage that provides the quarterback with an easy outlet against muddy coverage looks. Basically what I just said, right? Ertz, one of the most quarterback-friendly pass catchers ever because of how he uses leverage and angles to his advantage. I believe the Eagles offense is going to need to use their 12 personnel package at some point this year to win a Super Bowl. And Ertz has the ability to be effective in that role even at this point in his career. 12 personnel can be a lethal weapon if you know how to use it. And I think that Zack Ertz would be able to give the Eagles the best chance to maximize that package of any of the other tight ends that they have. Because all of the other tight ends that the Eagles have, Jack Stoll, more of a blocking tight end. Grant Calcaterra really isn't that guy. Albert Okwuegbunam Abenam had an opportunity at a reception against the San Francisco 49ers. He dropped it. But why it makes sense to bring in Ertz furthermore, it's not going to cost you a lot of money. He has familiarity with the team as well as the system. He can be very good against the blitz, where the blitz comes and Hurts knows that's my hot. That's the soft spot of that defense. I know Zack Ertz is going to settle there and be there. Let's just give it to him. And that's a great just outlet to have for the quarterback. It gives Hurts that easy option to sometimes bail him out. Or if everybody else is covered, it's like, okay, let's go to Zack Ertz to move the chains here. And he's made those big plays time and time again. He's also 11 catches away from an all-time Eagles record. He's 10 right now behind Harold Carmichael for tying the franchise record in receptions all time. He gets 11. He overtakes that record. And on top of him being a 3-time Pro Bowler, not necessarily an all-pro like I said a little bit earlier, but all-pro type of potential early in his career is kind of what I meant. But in addition to being a Pro Bowl player, in addition to being a Super Bowl champion, in addition to setting records, and that includes him with the most receptions in the course of single-season history for the Philadelphia Eagles, he could break that Harold Carmichael record. So it could make sense for him if he's looking to really solidify himself as one of the best players in the history of this organization. And that's what he's been, and that's what he was. From 2013 to 2020, his per-year averages were insane. 14 and a half games, 104 and a half targets is what he was able to average per year from 2013 to 2020. And per year, he averaged 70 grabs, almost 760 yards, average yards per catch at 10.8, and he was a very good player at bringing in touchdowns, 4.5 of them. And then from 2021 to 2023, this is over the last couple of years, as you can see, the production's gone down, the games played have gone down, the numbers have gone down because of injuries, because he is a declining player. But again, you're stacking depth with the player like Shaq Leonard. You're stacking depth with the player like Zack Ertz. And when you think about how the Eagles matched up with San Francisco looked like the deeper, talented, better football team. Not by much, but by a little. And in bringing in Leonard, bringing in Ertz, they have so many credible accomplishments to their name. They can help out this football organization. So with that, what say you? Should the Eagles sign Zack Ertz next after Shaq Leonard? H for come home, Zach. S for stay away. We, of course, always appreciate your feedback here on the show. We thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, Andrew Nathan, $10 super chat. Shaq over Morrow and Ellis. Ertz over Stoll and Albert Oka-Abanam. Sue over Marlon and Ojomo. Interesting that you make that last point there. I don't think that Marlon Tuipulotu and Morrow Ojomo are that bad. We need to make some moves on our defensive line. They look tired at times throughout the game. Maybe we do need Reich as a consultant. You know, I was thinking about that. We put a video out over the weekend, and it's, we had the conversation. Should the Eagles bring back Frank Reich? And you think about some of the Eagles' offensive struggles. With the experience of Frank Reich, would he be able to help them get through this phase of some funky, weird, inconsistent football? Might be able to a little bit. So maybe Nick Sirianni is going to hop on the phone with Frank Reich to see. As far as Shaq being over Morrow and Ellis, I totally agree with that. Ertz, a much more relied upon passing target compared to Jack Stoll and Albert Oka-Abanam. I disagree in bringing in Ndamukong Suh. I think the Eagles are very deep along that defensive line, and I think that they're in a good spot there with that unit. But the Eagles did look tired yesterday. They got worn out a little bit. San Francisco, I think that's a big reason why they are 3-point favorites, because they had a week and a half of rest. They had the clear rest advantage. Philadelphia is Buffalo, Kansas City, very emotional, and then San Francisco, very physical. It looked like the Eagles were struggling after that brutal stretch. But again, doesn't get any easier. Dallas coming up next here on the show. If we get enough questions, we'll do a mailbag. If not, we're just going to sign off. So if we get some questions in, use hashtag Eagles or send in a super chat to get featured here on the program. We want to hear from all of our fans and subscribers, but use the hashtag Eagles in order for you to get involved. So if you send in a super chat, guaranteed to be on the show. If not, you use the hashtag Eagles, and you'll also get on the show. Dennis Design's making a good point. Howie, draft an effing linebacker. Yeah, the Eagles neglecting a linebacker position has come back to. All right, does anybody have any questions that y'all want us to answer? If not, we're just going to sign off.
We want to hear from y'all. We want to answer your questions. No, Marshawn Lynch already got a few in here.
Marshawn Lynch got a few in?
Marshawn Lynch got a few in. I know some of y'all have some questions.
It can't just be a Marshawn Lynch mailbag.
No.
Cool guy. I think the Cowboys will end the Eagles in the playoffs. I disagree. Callie Green, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. with one of our second-round picks.
He's so good.
Wouldn't hate that. How are we going to draft the linebacker maybe from Eric? Need to.
Eric,
Steven Lackman getting a question in.
Eric, make sure you use hashtag Eagles in your question.
Hurt so good. Dallas Cowboys supposed to be back next week, so why do we really need Zack Ertz? Good one right there. It's because they're thin at backup tight end. Clean music lover, why do we keep abandoning the run? Because when they do run, it hasn't been working, and that has been a big problem. Joseph Krager, confidence level going into Sunday. We got some good questions coming in. Yeah. Cool guy. I'm a Cowboy fan. Can't wait for Sunday, man. Can't wait for Sunday. Might have to wear my Eagles jersey around Dallas here throughout this week. Fazell Mack, why has our tackling been so bad? You know what's crazy, Fazell? Is that the Eagles came into that game yesterday as one of the top tackling teams, top 10 in missed tackles, meaning they haven't missed a lot of tackles yet yesterday. Brock Purdy threw for 314 yards, 213 came after the catch. Hopefully it was just one bad game, though. Mike Ray, I'll be at the game this weekend. F Dallas.
F Dallas, baby.
Type F Dallas in the chat.
F Dallas.
Type F Dallas in the chat. If we get a $50 super chat, I will say F Dallas for a minute straight. I will parlay that into Fly Eagles Fly theme song. No one likes us, we don't care. And I'll put on my Eagle foam head if we get a $50 super chat.
Woo.
Because I can't stand that football team. All right, use hashtag Eagles or send in a super chat to ask us anything. And we'll get to your questions for our mailbag. And then we'll start to wrap things up here on Eagles Now. Kane Angel, boo the Cowboys. Exactly. All right, we ready to rock? Cool. Good job by everybody for getting those questions and those comments in. You send in a super chat, you're guaranteed to get featured, and you're going to skip the line. And again, $50 super chat. F Dallas for a minute straight. Fly Eagles fly. No one likes us, we don't care. On the Eagle foam head in this lead up to this Cowboys game. We got to reverse the bad vibes. Reverse the bad vibes after that Niners loss. All right, mailbag coming up next here. Eagles Now live. Producer Chip, whenever you're ready to rock, let's get that paper. Let's take your questions, and let's do it right now. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you. Today's show is presented by Manscaped. The holiday season is here. You know what a great stocking stuffer is, or a great overall gift? Anything from Manscaped, including the brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and the 5.0 Performance Package. You get 20% off at manscaped.com/chat. Promo code chat. We'll tell you more about that coming up here in just a bit. Andrew Nathan getting us started with our mailbag on this $10 super chat. And this is after the Philadelphia Eagles have signed Shaq Leonard to a one-year deal. He makes a couple of interesting observations and points here and has some good opinions. He thinks that Shaquille Leonard, even though he's a declining player, not his former all-pro self, is a better option as compared to Nicholas Morrow, as well as Christian Ellis. He thinks that Zack Ertz, a better option than some of the backup options on this Eagles roster right now, in Jack Stoll, in Ndamukong Suh, over Marlon Tuipulotu and Morrow Ajomo. And then he also adds, we need to make some moves on our defensive line. We do need Frank Reich as a consultant. So let's tackle. Shaquille Leonard is not in his. He has gone downhill over the last couple of years. There is no doubt about that. But the San Francisco 49ers continue. And the middle of the field and the Eagles off-ball linebackers during that game on Sunday. And they understood that the Philadelphia Eagles are pretty porous at that linebacking spot in covering the pass. And that's why Shaq Leonard over Nicholas Morrow and Christian Ellis is good for this football team right now, because he is a better player and better against the pass as compared to Nicholas Morrow and Christian Ellis. Morrow gave up staggering amounts of yards against San Francisco, 171 receiving yards, and a bulk of those coming after the catch. And then for Zack Ertz, yes, he's a better option as compared to Jack Stoll and Albert Okwe-Ebenam. In Ndamukong Suh, I'm not going to say that he's better than Marlon Tuipulotu or Morrow Ajomo. I do think that the Eagles looked a little bit tired and slow along that defensive line against San Francisco, but keep in mind, and we talked about this all week, going into that game, San Francisco had the rest advantage. They played on Thursday, Thanksgiving. The emotional game in the rain, back home against Buffalo, played in overtime, and then had to take on the San Francisco 49ers. So the Niners won in the physicality department. I thought the Philadelphia Eagles were slow and sluggish. They didn't look like they wanted to tackle San Francisco. Those were all problems. Hopefully Shaq Leonard is going to be able to solve that just a little bit. And then as far as Frank Reich, incredibly inconsistent this year. It's almost impressive how from the start of the season up until now, they've continued to be a choppy, up and down, sporadic offense. Could Frank Reich could potentially put together a 60-minute game over 4 quarters? Maybe. I'm growing on the idea for sure. Stephen Bailey with the $5 super chat. You think it's time to start drafting linebackers in the draft? This is a position that Howie Roseman has continued to ignore. He's continued to neglect it. And he's really done this throughout his entire regime. And I don't really understand it because if you look at a team like the Niners, they have Fred Warner. He is a game changer. His range from sideline to sideline and vertically, his ability to cover wide receivers out of the slot, tight ends out of the slot, to stack the box as a blitzer, really, really special. He is a game changer. Second level of that defense, they haven't always invested in it. Now they're trying to do that, and they're trying to put a Band-Aid on this wound with Shaq Leonard, and hopefully it works out a little bit. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. would be an incredible pick out of Clemson for this Eagles team. He just declared for the draft, and his pops, the Axeman, Jeremiah Trotter, great linebacker for this organization for a really long time. Fazell Mack, why has our tackling sucked so bad this year? What's crazy is that going into that San Francisco game, the Philadelphia Eagles were actually one of the best tackling teams in the National Football League, but they had an awful day against San Francisco. The Eagles entered Sunday giving up the third fewest yards after the catch per reception in the NFL at 4.37 and gave up the lowest yards after contact per game. The 49ers came in leading the league in yards after contact per play, and San Francisco, I thought, won that battle by a landslide on Sunday. There's also some numbers that I want to get to that Jeff McClain had tweeted out a little bit earlier today. Of the Niners' 314 passing yards, 213 came after the catch. Nicholas Morrow accounted for 151 yards of yak yards per Pro Football Focus. Overall, he gave up 6 catches for $175. That's why the Eagles, ladies and gentlemen, are bringing in Shaq Leonard. Hurts so good. Dallas Goedert is supposed to be back next week. So do we really need Zack Ertz? Dallas Goedert, I think, is going to play against the Dallas Cowboys. He was listed as doubtful against the 49ers. And this is really going to help out this Eagles offense to a certain degree because Dallas Goedert makes difficult plays look easy. He turns garbage into gold where you dump it off to him, and because he's so good with the ball in his hands, picking up yards after the catch, he's able to turn a difficult play into a first down. He's also a very good red zone threat. So getting him back is going to help, right? And why the Eagles might bring back Zack Ertz is because, yes, he's older. 33, injuries over the last couple of years, declining player. But he's so good against the blitz. He's so good at finding the soft spot in the underlying portion of the it off. And Goedert can be still used as a blocking tight end, but you go 12 personnel there, or you line up Dallas Goedert, to the right or left of a tackle, and then you put Zack Ertz in the slot. It just gives you another playmaker for this team that Jack Stoll, Grant Calcaterra, and Albert Okwa-Abanam are not. LA, what's up, man? What's your level of concern as far as the Birds getting the number 1 seed going into the NFL playoffs? A little. Why I still think Philadelphia is going to be able to lock massive. There's no doubt about that. But the Eagles' remaining schedule, with the 1-game lead on Dallas, Cowboys, Seahawks, Giants, Cardinals, all wins, right? They all should be. And Cowboys currently have 9. Their remaining Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, and Lions all fighting for playoff spots, all fighting for playoff seeding, and Dallas always chokes in December. And that's going to allow Philadelphia to still get that number 1 seed, but you, of course, have to look out for the 49ers to claim that top spot as well. Do you still have confidence in the Eagles to win the NFC? Let's ask you that. No. I still have confidence. Go on our Monday show, I broke down why you should not be concerned about Philadelphia. Go check that video out because I outlined why there are reasons to be optimistic still about this football team. shipping at manscaped.com/chat. Promo code chat. Ho, 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 gentlemen. Get ready with the help from our friends over at Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have just launched their Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, but as I like to call it, the small gift for your big package. Featuring Santa's #1 helper, the Lawnmower 5.0. Manscaped can guarantee you'll be stuffing more than just your stockings this season and let your ornaments shine. And in the process, get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using that code CHAT. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the one-stop shop for holiday gifting perfection. It includes a trimmer as precise as Santa coming down the chimney. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra brings 2 next-gen blade heads, perfect for sculpting your holiday dew, from taming the chestnuts to grooming the tree. And trust us, it's as gentle as a snowflake on your sensitive bits, thanks to skin-safe technology. So one more time, it is the Performance Package from Manscaped, the best gift that you can get this holiday, that you can use year-round, and you get 20% off and free shipping in the process at manscaped.com/chat. King's Restaurant and Nightlife, you have to keep running the ball. They don't stick with the run. So I was looking at some numbers, and the Eagles are actually in the top half of the NFL in rushing attempts this year. But as far as running the football, but when they do run it, they're really struggling. And there's really not an excuse for that. Swift is a really talented player. Kenneth Gainwell was awesome in the playoffs last year. They just can't run the football. I think this Eagles offense necessary adjustments, and maybe that'll lead to more consistency. Watermelon, what's the probability of Zach Cunningham returning? So Nicholas Blender trying to guard tight ends and leaving them wide open for no reason. Zach Cunningham, he was kind of iffy throughout this week, leaning toward not playing against the 49ers, I should say last week. Against Dallas, I would say that his condition is going to improve, but we're going to certainly hear more about this the rest of the week. But yeah, Zach Cunningham and Darius Leonard, is that a linebacking core that's at least passable? That's a little bit better than what you had? Again, we talked about it all week in the lead up to that Niners game. It was a bad week for Philadelphia to be so thin at that linebacker spot and banged up, and San Francisco took full advantage of it. Andrew Nathan, I'm surprised we didn't attack the Niners in the short passing game more. AJ was beating them on slants and crossers. We can't continue with our struggles running the ball. Thoughts? Great stuff, Andrew. First 2 drives of the game, Philadelphia goes right down the field. And they picked up a couple of really big third down conversions. And when they did pick up those third down conversions, how did they do it? Some of the slants, some of the routes over the middle from Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts was so precise early in that game. Accurate, fitting balls into tight windows. But this is what really changed the game, is that Philadelphia marches right field goals. So that makes what could have been a 10-0 game. San Francisco, from that point, just dominated the rest of the game. You got to find a way to capitalize on those opportunities. Eagles didn't do that. They left the door open, and San Francisco did what you feel about our defense against Dak? Worried. I think, 11 straight games at AT&T Stadium? Either way, they're on this crazy winning streak. We'll do a preview. Nonetheless, have been playing great ball at home. Dak Prescott and CD Lamb, that connection's been working. It's been humming. It's been clicking. They've targeted the middle area of the field from Dak to CD, right down the numbers, right down the seam. That's where Philadelphia is really struggling right now. And if this Eagles defense is not getting home with their pass rush, that secondary has been a little bit weak. That secondary has been a little bit spotty. No doubt an issue. Pretty well offensively as far as yards and points. And concerned for sure, especially coming off that Niners loss. David Sean Desai need to be fired. They're not good coaches. That was an embarrassment. There's no doubt that that game was an embarrassment. I will say this year, just come down to him not having the necessary personnel for his team to perform. What's he supposed to do at line? Morrow and Christian Ellis. And before yesterday, like, Morrow had done a decent job. Passer rating when targeted was extremely high. Like, what is Desai supposed to do? He's given. That's Howie Roseman not investing. That was definitely one of the uglier performances under Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni that I have seen since they partnered up in 2020. And a way for this team to start a little bit faster, because having to come back in games is a dangerous way to play. With that, let's round out with this. The Eagles are O for overrated, U for underrated, P for properly rated. Let me know down below in the chat right now. Dennis Designs a $50 super chat. Do it, Chase. We need some motivation for that mess last night. I would say F Dallas for a minute straight. Then we'd sing Fly Eagles Fly. And then we'd sing No One Likes Us, We Don't Care. Chip, would you mind getting me the foam head behind my desk in the Tupperware? It's in that little container. And I'll just continue to give shout-outs to those of you in the comments section here. Foldy Cow, Cool Rain, Stephen Lackman, Duncan Doge, Niners all damn day in enemy territory. Eris Darksey, Foldy Cow, Stephen, DSM, Haason. Thank you for the 50 there, Dennis. I agree. We need to reverse the bad vibes from yesterday. And again, it was very rare to see this Eagles team under Sirianni and Hurts struggle the way that they did and be as sloppy as they were. Very odd. Because usually they're buttoned up, coached and prepared against San Francisco. What happened? So what do we have to do? Off first, yeah, and then be able to do that. It's all good. We'll just sign off. Designs $50 super chat. F Dallas, F Dallas, F Dallas, F Dallas, F Dallas. Dallas, F 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 Dallas. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S. Yes, Eagles! No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're from Philly, fucking Philly. No one likes us. We don't care. No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We're the Eagles, the fucking Eagles. No one likes us. We don't care. All right, that was for the $50 super chat from. Dennis Designs. Good stuff right there, man. That is to reverse the bad vibes. That's just to turn the corner.
I can feel it.
Because the vibes were destructed. And if the Eagles turn, you can credit me. All right, we're going to Zack Ertz video out. Thanks to everybody for watching our live coverage, and we'll catch you next time here on Eagles Now. Peace.